Okay. Do you guys think that women should be equally drafted now that we can vote?
Yes.
So front lines?
Actually, no.
Yeah, of course. Front lines, yeah.
Front lines.
Yeah.
Equal rights, equal... No? Why?
Because, I mean, if women are equally drafted, then it's not like your opponents are going to draft women equally. They are going to come with men. So you're just going to lose at the end of the day.
No, we do it. They do it. It becomes a whole worldwide thing, and women actually get the equality.
I don't think the whole world is going to follow through with that.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is if across the world women want equality and they want the same rights as men, right? So if you want the right to vote, which is fine, I'm not saying we shouldn't, but why shouldn't we?
I'd say the main reason why that's not the case is because, just like you've seen in the whole Ukraine situation, the women need to kind of be with the kids.
Yeah. No, they don't. If we prescribe to what modern women say, no, they don't.
No, but if there's a war, if a war kicks off, you've got men going to war. If the women go to war as well, who's going to look after the kids?
I know, but we're prescribing to what is supposed to happen. This isn't what is being taught now. What is being taught now is they can do that, and if that's what they scream out from all the social media and everything, then we should give them the opportunity. But in real life, they don't want to do that.
No, opportunity is fine. That's fine. But obviously, in reality, you can't, like, if you said, all right, women and men have to go to war, then who's going to look after the kids?
No, but they don't say they don't go to war so what you're saying is, I agree with what you're saying, but the reason that women say they don't go to war is not because they're staying at home to look after the kids. So what you're saying is women shouldn't be drafted because they need to stay at home to look after the kids. But then what they would argue is, no, we're not staying at home to look after the kids. We want equal rights as you. So I agree with you. I don't believe...
If war kicks off, there's not a single woman that's going to be saying that.
Yeah, but
all the feminists will go quiet.
I'm just trying to show the contradiction.
No, I get that.
Yeah. That was my point. And there was like a clip of me that was taken out of context where I said if I had to pick between getting drafted and voted, like I would give that shit up easy.
Yeah.
I am scared. I will not be on the front lines. I swear to God, what you want me to cook?
Yeah.
What you want me to clean?
I saw your picture.
Swear to God, I'm running to the kitchen and not walking.
Yeah. And I also think like having so many options isn't necessarily good for everybody. I think it's like having the option to do everything you want doesn't necessarily mean you'll be happier. Sometimes it can make you quite confused and you get distracted, and I know I experienced that in my life. So I know that like feminism gave women all these options to do whatever they want, but I don't know if that actually leads to life satisfaction, having too many options.
You do realise, right? And I like the fact that you're saying that, because this is one of the things that we say when it comes down to things like comparison, like and bodies, right? Most of the reason why people are unhappy is because they can always compare into something.
Yeah,
so if you've never had an experience, people can call it naivety, but when you have too much of an experience, you're always going to compare something to you. So when you say it like that, it's one of those ones where they've told you can do all of these things, and sometimes when you actually do some of these things, you're like, yeah, instead I don't want it.
Because even psychologically, even when you go to a restaurant, when there's too many things on the menu, you naturally just like, well, that's why we like home cooked meals. There's no alternatives, and that just applies to life. So that's why I don't think having so many options is necessarily a gift in life.
Feminists would disagree, though.
I was going to say that.
Who said that?
As a feminist would disagree.
Why?
Yeah, because that's what their whole movement is. I feel, well, I think, and I know that most of the reason that they come out and say all of these things is because they're just trying to prove that they can do exactly what a man can do. And the funny thing is, when it comes to men, you hardly find any of us arguing and trying to prove that we are stronger than you or doing all of that, even amongst ourselves. Naturally, you know, when you're in a room with guys, everyone just kind of knows where they belong and then just automatically sorts themselves out. But I just noticed that whenever women are involved in that kind of equation, then things just go out of place and then everyone is trying. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Have you ever, I think Kevin Samuels used to use the analogy of, there was some TV show where they put women and men on an island.
Fear Factor.
No, it wasn't Fear Factor.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, and it was like where they had to survive.
Yeah.
And the women, like, they had to save within like 2 days, and the men were completely functioning.
It was like they near a bit Wi-Fi there by the second week or something.
So why do you guys think there's this disdain towards men from feminists when they say they want equality?
I feel like they're just conditioned to do it. I feel like they're just told that men are the enemy. But if you speak to many women and ask them about their lived experience, very few will say, oh, my male boss was a nightmare, or this man was so bad. They'll always say, oh, I had this boss, she was a right bitch, and it's always a woman. And all these, and as we all know, like I know from my experience on social media with women and stuff, it's always been more, most of my difficulties in life have come from other women. So I always combine like my lived experience with my thoughts, whereas I think a lot of feminists haven't even branched out to the idea of what has my life experience been like? Have men actually been oppressing me? Has it been more women stopping me from progressing at work? And if they took a moment to actually reflect on that, they'd realize men aren't the enemy. It doesn't mean anyone's the enemy, but men definitely aren't the enemy. And I think they're not given that option to kind of, or given that encouragement to reflect on their own experiences.
I blame social media. Because the loudest people online are the people that have been scorned, that are just upset about stuff for the sake of it. So they're the people that are just in the comments making all the noise. And then that kind of shifts the narrative of what people actually think is normal, when in reality, most women probably don't think like most feminists. It's just a very small percentage of angry women.
But they're vocal, innit?
But they're vocal,
Yeah,
exactly. So it kind of magnifies it. It makes them seem like there's more of them than there actually are, just because they're the ones that are the most vocal. Whereas all the normal women that are just getting on with their lives, that don't think that way, they're just sitting there watching. They're not really entertaining it.
Yeah, but bro, women need to call other women out, because it's like there's a very small proportion of women, right, that think like this, right? But they're loud and their voices are amplified. And the women that actually is not the majority, is actually the minority that's doing that. They don't say anything, and women don't like to be called out. So for what you say,
Got one sitting next to you.
but basically she said that. But when it goes on social media, not in a manosphere, just anywhere else, they're gonna call her pick me show.
Yeah.
No, exactly. But again, that's the same loud, hurt women that are saying you're a pick me because you're actually talking sense.
But if there's 100 pick me's, they won't even. I think if there's 5, yeah, girl, I'm with you, and maybe like 5, and that's how mad it is. So, but she's
we need more of them to stand up.
But so I'll get women in my DMs and they'll be supporting what we're doing, and they'll be like, yeah, I see you on Pearl's show, they'll come up to me. But where are they in the comments when the girls are trying to call us misogynist and all these types of things, only for literally speaking in a way that men haven't spoken before, because men lie. So when you get men that actually are honest to you, that's why I say women love liars and cheaters, because they don't want men that's actually telling the truth, because when men do, they label all manners a thing. They want cheaters because they always go for the top 20% of men and the men that have access to more women. They want polygamy relationships because they will have a baby with a guy that's already had a baby with another woman. You are sharing the man once you do that. In their mind, they may think, oh, you know what, he's not with her no more. But if you allow a man to have a baby with another woman, then come and have a baby with you afterwards, then you're actually allowing him to have the best of both things.
Legit.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think
violent felons have more children than non-violent felons.
Yeah. And I said this before, and I thought about it, and I know one of my it was a good old friend, and I don't have to speak about his name, but just he's literally what she's talking about. He would be the most red flag you could think of, but for some reason,
Bear girl.
bear.